Hello, hello. Stephanie Zima here with Walk It Free, where we heal, connect, and level up. So, first of all, I want to say thank you for being part of my tribe. And if you are not yet part of my tribe, you might want to jump in there because you are going to get information on personal growth, personal development, anything that levels up the quality of your life in that tribe, right? And if you are somebody who's looking to overcome some life's transitions and life's challenges, that is requiring a transformation coach. I might be your gal. Okay. So, because I help people conquer life's challenges, whether or not it's with your health and wellness, your body, your mindset, your mental state, anything overcoming there, your anxiety, depression, all those kind of things, as well as, business related. Like if you are somebody who's running an online business, I can help you with some of those challenges as well in there. So that's what I do. Walk It Free, where we heal, connect, and level up our life. This week, we're going to be talking about toxic emotions, and it's really something that is near and dear to my heart because I truly believe that holding on to toxic emotions is a cause for cancer. Yes, I said it. That's my belief. I believe that when we hold on and harbor these emotions, these negative, harmful emotions, when we harbor them and we are not processing them and we're not working through them and really dealing with them, I do believe that that is a trigger for cancer cells to grow. Everyone has cancer cells in their body, and some people, like, it starts, and some people it's some people it doesn't. And where's it come from? And I do believe it has something to do with multiple factors, not just one way or the other, but it has something to do also with harboring the toxic emotions and really like letting that fester inside of you, right? Okay, so let's start by what are toxic emotions. Resentment, anger, guilt, shame, for example. Those are really toxic emotions. When you think about what they do in your body, when you think about what does anger do in your body, it's raising your cortisol levels, right? What does resentment do? It just festers inside of you. What does guilt do to you, right? Feeling guilty is the worst. I don't know about you, but it's like the worst. And then shame. Oh my gosh, there's so many people who are dealing with shame. And there's so many people who need to shine the light and walk it free, and get that shame off of our lives, out of our lives, not off of our lives. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk again. Okay, so suppressing these emotions just make them bigger. It's almost like, they're like monsters living under the bed, right? And when like, imagine this. If you were like, remember you were a little girl and you're laying in your bed, and lights out and mom said goodnight, and next thing you know, you just start seeing these monsters, and your imagination just starts going wild, and you're just thinking about them, and they just grow bigger and growing, like bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you are so scared of looking at them, that you're going to scream out for mom or dad or whatever. And then mom and dad comes in, and what do they usually do? They turn on the light, and then they maybe, like, if you're anything like me, I mean, I shine the bright light under the bed and in the closet and wherever my daughter feels like she sees the monster. And when you shine the light, it's kind of like the big shadow. When you shine the light, the shadow gets smaller, right? There's no shadow. And the monster gets smaller when you shine the light. So that means that you need to take a look at these emotions that are causing you to feel angry and just, resentment and guilt and shame. All these things you have to look at, because they're monsters and they can only grow in the dark. They cannot grow in the light. They cannot grow when you publicly or in like a one-on-one coaching relationship, when you're speaking about them. Okay, so you have to discuss them so that you cannot suppress them. They have to be brought into light and being acknowledged. When you acknowledge those monsters, that's when you can start working with them. Root causes and triggers, right? When you have these toxic emotions, you always want to be looking for the root causes and the triggers. What triggers you to be angry? What triggers you to feel resentment? What triggers you to feel shame and guilt, right? What triggers you? What are the underlying causes? Is it a past trauma or is it unmet needs? Usually it's either one of those two. It's usually that you are not getting your needs met or you're having some kind of a trauma. You have to talk about those things and you have to work with awareness on what your trigger is and then find a solution to these triggers. Okay, so let's say if your needs are not met, one of the things I'll share my life, okay, one of the things was I was dealing with anger and a lot of anger, a lot of anger. I had really like the shortest fuse, and my poor little daughters at that time, they just didn't even know what hit them, right? They were just like, wow, why is mom so angry out of the sudden? And it was just what I realized when I did this work. I started realizing I don't have enough sleep. I am so exhausted, and I mean, yes, it's a new mother kind of thing, but see, I didn't like the outcome. The trigger was I didn't have enough sleep. I didn't like the outcome, reacting with anger. Now, the reason why I reacted with anger was in my past paradigm. It is just the mechanism that I've learned how to cope with not feeling good, not self-soothing, not being able to do the things. But that's a different story. So, to keep this simple here, it was the fact that I didn't have enough sleep. So my needs were not met. Okay. In order to solve that, you have to be able to meet your needs. You have to find a solution as to how you can get your needs met. Okay. So you get the point. That's what you need to do. Once you have your triggers, once you know where it's coming from, the root causes, that's when you can start finding solutions and strategies that will actually help you work through them. Okay, so the effects on mental and physical health when you are having these toxic emotions, um, you have to know that there's a connection between these toxic emotions and your mental health issues. That's just what it is. Anxiety and depression, for example. Let's take anxiety. Okay, if you are not feeling, oh, of course, no, my animals are going wild, right? The cat comes in, the dog is like all crazy. Forgive it. That's life, right? Okay, so anxiety and depression, right? You have, of course, now comes Amazon. Never mind, whatever. So you have anxiety and you have depression, okay? And the anxiety and the depression are linked to these toxic emotions. Okay, so when you're feeling angry, when you're not getting your needs met, and that on a consistent basis, you can actually fall into depression. You can start having a belief that you're not mattering to anybody, that no one cares, that your needs are just not important, and that you literally, it all boils down to the fact that you don't matter. That's a belief that your system could believe unless you're checking it, and then you can fall into depression and it just keeps festering. Okay, and it starts from having these toxic emotions. um, okay, when you think about anxiety, right? Anxiety comes from not being certain about something. So, how can you not be certain? Well, if you're feeling guilty or if you're feeling shame, you're probably not putting in action that will create certainty. Okay, so you have to know that there's a link between these toxic emotions and the need or the mental health issues that you're dealing with. So, you need to, if you want to feel relief from anxiety and depression, for example, you need to look at what are the root triggers here, what are the toxic emotions that you are specifically dealing with. And then strategies for emotional release and healing are really important, you guys. You have to release these toxic emotions. You have to release them. You have to release them with either mindfulness or journaling or therapy. Um, whatever you need to do to make them and walk them free. Okay, you have to walk them free. If you do not walk these toxic emotions free, then you will end up not just, I don't want to say I don't want to say you're growing cancer, okay? Because that's not really what I mean. Everyone has cancer cells in their body, but the risk that you're running, that either your mental health is suffering or your physical health is suffering if you're keeping these toxic emotions in your body, is super, super high. Okay. And yes, we have lots of life transitions that we're working through. There's a lot of depth to toxic emotions and the origin of them and so on and so forth. And that is why coaching is so, so, so important, right? Some people go to therapy, but I like coaching because with coaching, we are not just focusing on where are the root triggers and this and this. We are actually working on putting actions into place and working them through and developing a different mindset. Sometimes these emotions are coming from our inner paradigm, which is our inner belief system. It's the measuring stick that we measure everything from, whether or not it's perfectionism, for example, right? Maybe you had very perfectionistic parents and they were um, maybe they had a certain set of standards that you never really measured up to, and it led you to believe that you are feel like you are not good enough. You're never good enough. And then it is paired with the anxiety and the worry that every time you're trying to establish something new or get into something new, that you're going to fail, and that this yucky feeling of toxicity, like this yucky feeling of not measuring up and not being good enough, that this keeps repeating, right? And that alone, this cycle, right, this paradigm, this cycle, that could keep you stuck, missing out on all the excitement and passion in life and amazing, beautiful things that you want to accomplish in life. See, when you feel unhappy, when you're feeling like you not doing what lights you on fire, okay, for whatever reason, you have to take a look at your toxic emotions. You have to take a look at what could you do to become aware of them, what could you do to work with them, and what could you do to eliminate them. Okay, eliminate them. So whether or not you're going to find counseling or therapy, or you enroll in mentorship, into a coaching program, Walk It Free, check it out. Link is somewhere in the bio here. That is something that you should consider. You really, really should consider, because that is where life changing is coming in. That is where you set a goal on all these different facets: your body, your mind, your financials, like your business, right? And your relationships. Those four things, those are the pillars of a happy life. You have to be having your health. You have to have a good mindset. You have to have financials, right? You have to have money. I mean, we all know you have to have money. If your job sucks, you need to find a new job. It's just what it is. If you're not making enough money, you have to find ways how to create more money in your life. And then you have to work on relationships. They need to be fulfilling, they need to be exciting, they need to be uplifting, and they need to nurture you. And if you don't have anything in these four pillars, if something is off in these pillars, you could be holding on to these toxic emotions that are really dangerous for you. All right. So that's all I wanted to tell you this week. Walk it free. If you have any questions, please make sure drop them in the comments here. Message me, contact me, follow me on social media. I'll be more than happy to communicate with you and be answering any of the questions that you have. There's always somewhere an option that you can also get into a free coaching session, like a 15-minute meet and greet session. It's somewhere. It's either on the website or it's on my link here. It's somewhere over here where you can actually get that done. So take advantage of it and walk it free.